Well, Dr. James Boys is a professor in international politics at the American International University in London. He's in our Birmingham studio now. Dr. Boys, the people around Barack Obama say it wasn't a campaign trip. Do you believe that?
Good afternoon, Peter. I certainly don't, unfortunately. I think we've seen over the last 6 months the American primary election, and now arguably we're seeing the global primary being executed with Barack Obama coming here, it must be said, on the heels of Senator McCain, who was here earlier in the year trying to boost his credentials in the foreign policy and international arena.
He didn't get 200,000 people turning out to see him in London as he did in Berlin. How do you read that?
It's important to remember the historical importance of Berlin, not only within the context of the Cold War, but within the presidential history. You've got President John F. Kennedy, President Ronald Reagan speaking there historically in the 60s and the 1980s. And Barack Obama, of course, is trying very hard to tap into both Republican and Democratic supporters in the coming November election. So there's a real sort of trying to pull on the heartstrings of sentimentality, I think, to a certain degree.
Do you see anything of substance from this trip, or was it just one long photo opportunity?
Well, it's very interesting. The last Democrat president, Bill Clinton, was often accused of running what was referred to by critics as a photo op foreign policy. And I think his critics in America at this point, Barack Obama's critics, could very easily level the same charge against the senator from Illinois at this point. We're hearing a lot of platitudes, a lot of attempt to cover people's future options. We've seen him meet Tony Blair, Gordon Brown and David Cameron, arguably the past, the present and the future in British politics. So everybody's trying to make sure that nobody's offended on this trip, and there's some lovely pictures for the fall campaign in the United States.
The words special relationship didn't pass his lips. Transatlantic relationship did. Is that significant?
Well, it's funny. If you consider the history of the United States and our relationship with the United Kingdom, every president tends to refer to the special relationship once they're in office, and they want something from the United Kingdom. The special relationship, I think, has always been a little bit more special in London than in Washington, D.C. But I think that whoever becomes president in the November election, the relationship with the United Kingdom will remain strong and firm moving forward, as it needs to for both sides to succeed in George Bush's war on terror.
Mr. Obama, Senator Obama, has himself acknowledged there were some risks in making this trip. He said, I'm not sure there isn't going to be some immediate political impact in the United States, he meant. I wouldn't even be surprised that in some polls you saw a little bit of a dip as a consequence. We've been out of the country for a week. That's an extraordinary admission, isn't it? You take your eye off the domestic campaign for a week and the polls may turn against you.
Absolutely. From a European level, I'm sure this looks like a no-brainer. Come around the world, be photographed with a number of world leaders and boost your status seemingly around the world. But one needs to remember that the people of Europe are not voting in the American presidential election. The American people are voting in the American presidential election. And it is entirely possible that Senator McCain's campaign could turn this trip very cleverly against Senator Obama. One should never underestimate the Republican attack machine. Back in 2004, the George Bush's campaign leader basically said, when we've finished with John McCain, you won't know what side of the Vietnam War he fought on. And give Karl Rove his credit. By the time the election came, John Kerry's Vietnam record was very much in tatters. So it's not impossible that the same thing could happen with Barack Obama moving forward.
James Boys, thank you very much for talking to us.
Thank you.